morning students. We have studied about the types of bones, different functions of bones and all about bones or the skeletal system. Now it's turn to study the joints. Joints where two separate bones meet. We have discussed all the types of bones from skull to the toes, and these bones are joined together. The place where two different or two separate bones join together, that is the joint, or the two separate bones meet is the joint. So today we will study about the joints, types of joints, their function, their role, where they are present. So let's start with this topic, joint. Joints are basically of three types. First is immovable, second one is partially movable, and the third is freely movable joints. Immovable joints are the fixed type of joints where which shows no movement, and this joint is present in which region? This joint is present in the skull region. This joint is present in the skull bone, and these bones are joined together by fibrous connective tissue. So immovable joints are fixed types of joints, no movement is there. They are connected together with fibrous connective tissue and they are present in the skull bone. Next is partially movable joints. Partially movable joints, they show little movement as they are joined together by cartilage, and they are present in the region of ribs. They are present in the sternum, which is the breastbone, and the vertebral column. Slight movement is there. So the cushion like pad, I have already mentioned in the earlier class, that is gristle or the intervertebral disc is present. That intervertebral disc was made up of cartilage, and that cartilage provides articulation, and that is partially movable joints. Slight movement is there, and where they are present in the ribs, they are present in the sternum, they are present in the vertebral column. Third one is freely movable joint. Freely movable joint, it contains synovial sac. Now, what is synovial sac? Synovial sac is a space or the cavity which is filled with synovial fluid. And this the role of synovial fluid is to provide lubrication to avoid friction between two bones, to allow free movement in the bones, and that lubrication is provided by the synovial fluid present in the synovial sac. So in the freely movable joint, synovial sac is present with synovial fluid. Free movement is present, and it is present in the elbow joint, it is present in the hip joint. Freely movable joint is again of four different types. First one is the gliding joint, second is pivot joint, third is hinge joint, and fourth one is ball and socket joint. Gliding joint, in which the bones glide over each other, one another, and you can see in the wrist bone. When we are folding this bone, it slips like this, stretching and resulting in folding of or movement of this wrist. When we are making it this, then this bone again glides over this. So gliding of one bone on the other is provided by the gliding joint, and it is present in the ankle and the wrist bone. Next is the pivot joint. It allows rotation about an axis. The movement of this head region. This movement is to a particular axis and this is up to this region only. And this is provided by the atlas and axis. Atlas and axis are the part of cervical vertebra. First and second vertebra of cervical region, that is atlas and axis, and it allows only rotation about an axis only. Then hinge joint. Hinge joint, like the hinge of the door or window, it allows one-sided movement. we can move this in only this direction, not backwards. Similarly, our knee joint, it allows towards inside, and this movement, one-sided movement, like the door is, or the restricted movement is allowed by the hinge joint, and this joint is present in elbow, knee and fingers. Fingers also, we can fold our finger towards inside. We can not, this is not possible to bend it backwards. So this one-sided movement of elbow, fingers or knee is by the hinge joint. Next is ball and socket joint. This we have already studied in the humerus head, femur head. This type of bone is present with a ball-like end. Humerus head is a ball-like end which fits into the glenoid cavity. Femur head fit into the acetabulum cavity in the pelvic girdle. So this ball-like end of one bone is the ball and socket joint. This is all about the types of joint present in the skeletal system. Next is muscles. After joints, now is muscles. Muscles, the first word I have written is tendon. I have discussed this various times in our classes. That tendon is the joint and is the portion of muscle or a part of muscle, extended part of muscle, which connects muscle to bone. So extended muscle, extension of muscle to connect muscle to bone. So muscle to bone, MTB. MTB. Muscle to bone connection is through tendons, which is an extension of the muscles only. Now next is antagonistic muscles. Antagonistic muscles, they act in a opposite direction. They act opposing to each other, like biceps. This upper part, biceps, the flexor muscles, they help in the bending of upper and lower arm. Flexor muscles help in bending of upper and lower arm, while triceps or the extensor muscles, they help in straightening of the lower arm. So this part, one is for bending and another is for straightening. Since they act in, their action is opposing to each other, their action is opposite to each other, so that's why they are termed as antagonistic muscles. Put the star mark here. This is very important topic. Antagonistic muscles. Now the liver action, to allow smooth movement, to allow free movement, or for this the skeletal system allows liver mechanism, and this liver mechanism, this you have studied in the physics chapters. So first order liver mechanism, in which the fulcrum is between work and power, the area where work is done and where power is applied. If the fulcrum is between these two, the area where this order works is, this liver mechanism works is the extension of arm, which is in the triceps region, then resting of skull on the first and second second vertebra, which is the atlas and axis, skull, resting of skull, and the extension of triceps. So this is these two shows first order liver mechanism. Second is second order. Second order, if the fulcrum is just before the area where work is done, fulcrum, then work, and then power. If this type of mechanism works, then it is second order liver mechanism, and it is represented by the gastrocnemius muscles, which help in raising weight of the body on the toes. So lifting weight of the body on the toes is provided by a second order liver mechanism, where fulcrum is at the first place and work and power at the second and third. Third order liver mechanism, where fulcrum is at the last, fulcrum at the end, and work and power at the first and second places. It is represented by the biceps muscles, which is flexing the arm, and this biceps muscles show the third order liver mechanism. This is all about the chapter. In the next slides, you can see the thank you students for joining today. Have a good day.